Alright, so I don't have a lot of time. Still going to compost school every day, getting up early, leaving early, getting home late. Tonight I was coaching baseball, also went to a select board meeting. So, very busy. Just put the kids to bed, read Marty book, and anyway, I'm hoping in the next few minutes to get started on planting my tomatoes. They've been in the pots longer than I would like them. I don't have a hoop house to the stage I would like. This is getting weedy, and I just have a whole bunch of factors that say put the tomatoes in as soon as possible. So what I've done is crushed up my eggshells. I save my eggshells all year long. We raise laying hens here, and I eat a lot of eggs, and I save all the shells, and I save them all year in drying racks in the basement. And then the day that I plant tomatoes, I crush them up into these little tiny pieces. If you're going to do this, it's important to put on a glove. Eggshells, once they're dry, they're very brittle and easy to break, but if you're in there rooting around, they're also very sharp on the edges. I use the same gloves that I use to chop wood, nice thick insulated gloves. Anyway, I've got these all crushed up. A year's worth of eggshells is 3 seed flat drying. I use seed flats to dry them in, the ones with the holes in the bottom. 3 of those full, and I mean full, like mounted over. And I can fill this bucket 3 times with eggshells, and then by the time they're all crushed down, it's less than half a bucket full. So it doesn't amount to very much, but you don't need a lot. And the purpose of these eggshells, these are pretty much straight calcium. I think an eggshell is about 97% calcium, if I remember correctly, 95, 96%, something like that. And here in our gardens, everywhere I've ever grown tomatoes, they split. Most people think it's a fluctuation in moisture. The fluctuation in moisture, meaning if it's been really dry and all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of rain, your tomatoes will split on the vine. Or if it's been really moist and all of a sudden it goes dry and you don't get any rain for a week or two, your tomatoes will split. What I found through research is that the reason they split, it's related to moisture, but the moisture just kind of points out a symptom, and what the symptom is a calcium deficiency. Now, I don't want to buy limestone, which is mined from all over the world and shipped, and I've talked about that kind of issue in other videos. I do raise laying hens, and I have these eggs, and they're straight calcium, and I need calcium to keep my tomatoes from cracking, so it's a natural pairing. So basically what I did the other night, last night, I don't know, sometime this week, last night or the night before, I came out and I dug my holes for the tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is just go along and place a handful of eggshells in every hole, and I'm not going to be too fussy about it. Just toss them in, and then I'm going to go along and plant the tomatoes, and through the process of planting and digging and burying, the eggshells will get mixed into the soil. And this is kind of a slow release calcium. So I've done this without breaking, just putting in the whole eggshell, and it does not work very well. It's too big, it takes too long to break down, and it's inaccessible. The smaller you can get it, the better. I know people who actually have special food processors. You know, if you have an old food processor and you get a new one, you can use your old one to break up eggshells and do things like that, make it your garden processor. I don't go to that length because I don't have an extra food processor, and I don't want to use our good one to be breaking up eggshells, old rotten eggshells. I mean, they're dry and everything, but they still have a bunch of stuff over them. Anyway, I don't want to use our food processor for that, so I just crush them up with my hand the best I can and call it good. And then I just go along and throw a bunch in the holes and then put the tomatoes on top. Well, I didn't get as much done as I would have liked to, which is par for the course. Pretty standard. I would always like to have got done more. But I did get 3 rows of tomatoes planted. It's getting dark. Tomorrow's the solstice. I'm gonna go do something very satisfying right now, and that is put these tomato pots on a shelf right after I'm done with them. I've never been able to do that before. I'm pretty psyched with the work I got done with the tractor in terms of leveling the grade over in my new storage shed. Now that I have that and I put a shelf in, I have a place to put my plant pots as soon as I'm done with them. So they're not going to be sitting around under the deck or cluttering up the basement or floating around the garden. I'm very excited about that. So I'm going to head over and put these in the shed on the new shelf on the level ground. And then I think I might sit out on the deck with a beer, watch the sun go down and the moon come up. There's a heron flying over me right now. They are so cool. Anyway, good night.